welcome back.
Welcome back. It's Kareem.
And it's Travis.
This is One Hit High Points. All right, so we're back here with another random episode because the consistency of this podcast is absolutely hysterical. Because there's times where we're a lot more structured in some ways, and other ways we're kind of loving the freedom and the enjoyment of just living life and being able to just come in and check in and chat and.
I think it's more of like when we have the moments and when we have the conversations or the ideas of what to talk about. It's kind of a podcast that we kind of talk about life and our experiences and how we get to random conversations about, I don't know, life.
Anyways, so what we were talking about before, we were saying how like the kind of consequence of decision making and the constant what if mentality or feeling of regret, these very powerful kind of like past heavy emotional bearings on you, like these types of things that just fuck you up, and learning to kind of understand that in order to have made the right choice, you had to have made the wrong choice. So essentially making the bad choice or the wrong choice was the answer.
Yeah, that was kind of the trigger, the triggering moment of where your life was changed.
Yeah.
And we make those decisions, based off of the evidence, or not the evidence, but based off of the knowledge that we have about life, in that circumstance, and I think where we get caught up in a lot of those bad decisions in life is we self-reflect on them. And, we try, especially if you're like more OCD or a perfectionist, where, it's like, oh, I wish I could have done it this way differently. It's like those what if moments that we get caught up into.
Yeah. And that pertains to, just
especially if we had like true power in the decision of what was made, that where we're not necessarily influenced, where, like, yes, I did do that and this is what the outcome of that was. Like those I think are more lively or more personal.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like when I think of anything in life that could be, a what if moment of regrets, tends to be anything of loss, just because that's, we tend to like go back to our traumas.
Yeah.
What were our traumas or our triggers. And for me, my particular one was loss. I mean, I obviously believe that people can have multiple traumas, and I definitely fall into that category, but I've never really found a true hindrance on some past traumas. I was able to kind of compartmentalize it and really move forward in a way I thought that was healthy. And that's kind of why I still sought after healthy, kind of like, I don't know, eye-opening perspectives and relationships things like that. I don't know. It's kind of hard to navigate what I'm trying to say, but I really wanted to be intrigued by someone. I wanted to be like taught something different. And I thought that intelligence was a real kind of attraction point for me. And I sought after that in a lot of ways. And I always wanted to get, I don't know, I'm one of 7. I'm a natural observer. So I've always kind of felt, there's a lot I could learn. I still feel like that person today.
Yeah. And I think, you're one of 7. And for myself, it's like, I'm a huge observer of everything, down to every little detail of movement, it's like, and I want to say I blame my mother for that, because she's the same way. And I remember as kids playing jokes where I moved the candle slightly and kind of judge how long does it take mom to notice that the candle was moved, slightly the other direction. And it was within minutes most days. And it's like I've become that piece of it. And it's hard because it's like you're always rethinking things, rehashing things, and it takes a toll on you, like emotionally and mentally, as you think through all those little questions of what if of that, what if the candle was moved to the other direction type thing, where you're just constantly like,
oh yeah,
the perfectionist.
There's a lot of those candle moments for sure. I feel like every day I wake up with one of those candle moments. But it always pertains to like recent trauma.
But does it really matter if the candle is turned slightly? Like, did it really, like, why are we like?
It depends on the candle. Like, what brand was it?
Yeah, there's the evil brands, out
or
there.
just which was it a good scent? Because anything could happen. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I just feel like when I think of those like candle moments, I think of not necessarily the candle maybe being slightly tilted, but just like should the candle have ever been lit? You know, should that have that to me that's symbolic
Yeah,
for
or should I have ever bought that scent? It's kind of like there's choices within there as well of even the candle being slightly turned. Like there, like you
what I'm
have.
saying is fuck the candle. Just like fuck the candle aisle at like Marshalls or Home Goods, okay? Like just walk away. No more of that
Just
because
buy sage.
yeah, just because you know you can pick a wrong candle and that candle could burn your fucking life down. Just kidding. Um,
Wow.
no, just yeah. I think recent past traumas kind of pile on itself at times, and at a weird place in that freaking tsunami of trauma, you kind of drown, right? And in drowning, you realize you're not dead yet. You're still kind of here, even though you've drowned. You kind of like in a way died. A part of you's dead.
But that's why I think everyone needs to find their, not to make it metaphorical, but to find their like little life preserver that they can at least hold
Oh,
on to. It's like, yeah, you're still bobbing up and down, and every now and then a wave comes and hits you. But guess
yeah,
what? You're popping right back up.
yeah, yeah.
It's what is your life preserver?
My life preserver is honestly just I think now the little things, like the little enjoyments I can find, the little
The little euphorias in the pandemonium.
yes, that. Because I think if you see just I don't know, the simplicity and how you can just move like forward in the present, just be so hyper present, not necessarily saying you can't, reference the past and, future decisions or present uh kind of circumstances, but like if you're able just to stay really present and stay busy in a way that's productive to your being or yourself and your growth, I think that it's easier to, I don't know, make sound choices, make choices that make sense with the now, choices that don't necessarily reflect the past in a way that's trauma heavy. Like you can just say, hey, just because this happened in the past that really fucked me up does not mean that it's going to be this way again. And this time I could do things differently. This time I could identify what could have been the same mistake. And
Yeah, because you could be presented the same problem, but guess what? When you're presented the same problem again, as often as or frustrating as that might be, as you're still dealing with the same shit over and over and over. But guess what? Every time you go over it again, you're experiencing a little bit more, and maybe someday, like all of a sudden, the situation's avoided. Like or not avoided, but more of it's easier to deal with because you have the experience of the past.
but that's
The
the wild
past builds
thing.
you.
No one really talks about the fact that yes, people who deal with trauma get fucked up from it in a variety of ways. There's I feel like levels to it. There truly is. But I think that it really comes down to like willpower, like the true will and desire to have change, whether it's like a mustard seed of faith within yourself to be able to say like I want change for myself because I truly believe I want change. That I believe is like the true perseverance of the soul that wants change, that you can break through trauma, you can dismantle it, or you can understand it and use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
But if you're someone who's making the same mistake over and over again while claiming that you want to change and that this is just that I'm trying to change, or they're saying this is just who I am now, or I'm accepting who I am, that's like a quitter mentality to me. And I think that's not someone who's truly traumatized by their past. They're just people that actually use
Yeah, but I
their
don't know.
traumas
That's
as a way to kind of be free of guilt or attachment to things. I think that's just a way to, and I'm not saying that's
Yeah, but at the
yeah.
same time, it's like
I just got hyped
the
there.
the 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 guy that is all of a sudden settling, as
Yeah.
in, oh, this is just what it's going to be. It's just more of, I think that those type of people just need the level of encouragement around them in some aspect, just because they're in such a level of depression that I don't think they truly believe it.
Yeah, but
Like there are some that really do slip deep,
no, I know,
you
I
know,
know. I'm
and
not
then
trying to sound
there's some,
insensitive, but
but it's like in my mind, it's kind of like sometimes they need that life vest. They need that little like the little support system or
what if they
sounding
don't want a
board.
life vest and they feel like they've accepted defeat in the sense
And
that's
then that's their bad choice.
just
That's their bad choice in their moment of time. That will become their good choice at some point once they wake up. Like that is their choice. Like and the piece of it.
And I think, and that's the beauty and being a human being and being alive
It's
because
the
this
beauty of, at the same time, the scary part of all of it,
no
because it's like we feel bad about those type of things, you
it's
know?
it's crazy. The beauty in being a human and being alive is understanding that there is such an equivalent to being happy as there is to suffering. It really is just such a balance, and it's almost in a weird, sick way, like a choice to be in either one, to be
Yeah.
in either one headspace. And it really comes down to free will and the true desire to seek change and a difference for your reality. And I think, having that faith or that seed planted within you, I want to know if that's like something that you could have been responsible for planting in someone else, or was that something that was an innate part of someone's
Yeah, but
design that was going to happen anyway. Like I always wonder that, like, could I have, in a past, circumstance with maybe, it was something that could have happened with your mom. Like if, I made this decision, would she still be here? If I made this decision, would this relationship have worked out? What if I did this differently? Would this friendship have worked out? Or was this ultimately going to happen no matter what? Because that was by that person's design, their actions, what they do, that was going to lead to their actions that
well, I think
caused
for those
the
type of things, there is that
situation,
it's
or
not
vice versa. Because
it's that's an outcome that you're never going to know. Like, there's no other, like, I don't know where I was going. I had a point in my head and I kind of lost it there for a minute, but it was on changing the decision. I think that, like, those type of things, that we'll never know what the opposite side of that would be, because of, I think there is a level of, like, predestination and some higher being in like God out there, that's kind of like it's a part of a higher plan. It's not
yeah,
just our plan.
yeah,
So sometimes it's hard with those what if scenarios, and we as humans torment on them, and it's like, what if, and it's like, and it's hard. I think we're searching for answers of just what the true meaning of life is, because I think that's really what we're trying to get back to, is like, why did these pieces happen in our life? Because they suck. And what's the meaning of life? That's where we fret on them, and we take accountability of those decisions, I think.
yeah. I think, like I said, it all really ties back into the will to change. I think, and I don't want to say change really, because I think that's actually a word I've been trying to slowly over the years kind of
It's the balance of it.
distance myself from. Not necessarily the balance. That's not even the word. I think growth is the best
But I
word
think
to.
balance is important too, and a part of that balance cycle is growth. Like, you have to grow, but you can't grow too much, because
Of course, balance is,
it's going
yeah.
to,
I think what balance can be utilized in any kind of
and have the emotional days when you need the emotional
setting. I'm
days,
talking more
and
so like balance. Yeah, balance can be just the base term, whatever, but I'm really trying to emphasize more on growth. Like, so many people use the word change and I use the word growth. Like, that's really what I'm trying
yeah,
to,
I see.
focus on, because I think when you often hear people saying, "Oh, I wish this person would change," or "Why won't this person change?" or "How come this person does just never changes?" I don't think the way people say that is actually a really constructive way of looking at it. I think the best way of looking at it is um, kind of like the growth in a person and the will for their growth. Do they really have a will to grow? Is their willpower not necessarily dependent on your influence in any way? Should you never ever feel like you were responsible for someone's lack of will? Um, and again, also, and vice versa, because sometimes you can feel like, was I not able to perform, or was my will not strong enough? And these are questions that people who go through heartbreak or loss of friendships, or even just overthink circumstances that led to someone you know who they love, like, you overthink things that you've lost, whatever. Point I'm trying to make is
Stop overthinking.
the overthinking is why you should just live in the littlest present moments possible and just find little objectives to complete, and that feels satisfying and fulfilling. And
Yeah,
that means even with a
it's
job too. Hey, stay busy at a
it,
job
it,
that makes you feel that way, because that's
and
also really good
it's
too.
dangerous too, because when you overthink, because you get lost,
And the
and you're
sauce,
and you get
and
lost in the sauce.
the bad sauce, the sauce that's like ruin the sandwich, the burger, the fries, the
Yeah,
nugget dip.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, lost in the sauce, but no, we overthink, like, issues, and overthink things like I'm doing right now. So
What are
it's
you overthinking about right now?
like in life.
Yeah,
Um,
apparently
I
nothing. Just kidding.
yeah. See, there you go. Like I was probably because I was like going through my little Rolodex of information and just trying to find which one to think about because I'm overthinking about the question
Uh-huh.
that you just asked me what I'm overthinking, and it's kind of like
And
a
when you were overthinking that overthought of that overthunk, did you really think that anything could have really happened by thinking that?
honestly I don't know. I get lost in my mind. Sometimes
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just on like a merry-go-round that's going as a kid. You know how you were on one and you're going really fast and you just get thrown off. Like
What merry-go-round were you fucking on?
this was I don't
Holy
know.
shit, was it going like 50 miles per hour?
I guess maybe as a kid it seemed like that, but
Hold on tight. I think there was like little seatbelts.
no, this is not in the Midwest. It's like rough over
Oh
there.
man, you gotta get that like I had that baby core strength. I held on. Even when we were going like 3 miles per hour, I was like, fuck no, I'm not falling.
Yeah, I don't know,
Just
but
kidding. I was totally
I don't
like
know that,
freewheeling
but
that.
anyway, that analogy right there is what I think is what my brain is. It's like it's always
No
constantly,
handles.
it's constantly my mind is a merry-go-round with no handles, and I'm just spinning, and it's a little kid just being thrown, and that is my thought all of a sudden of what like
No training wheel, so your legs are just dangling there. Like it's the worst. It's like fuck. You hit every fucking stone, every roadblock. You're like a limp noodle. You're like, why? Why can't I just get my knee strength? Why am I like a horse born into the wild with weak knees?
why
Okay.
can't my noodles be al dente?
What? Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah,
Anyway, so pretty much, if people want to change, they'll change. If they don't, they don't. I think at some point, everything's a choice in life. I see. Wait, hold on. See what I just did there? This is a thing that I have to remind myself. I said change. If people don't want to grow, there you go. See, I'm able to correct myself. If people don't want to
yeah,
grow, then see, it's not easy. It's not easy to differentiate because I think so often in the status quo of like how people discuss a person that they expect something out of, they always often say change,
yeah.
and they never really say
Well,
grow. Like
how I
grow is
look
not
at
really a
it is
popular.
it's like self-reflecting and overthinking I think is important because that's the way that we're able to grow because we can learn from our past and learn from our mistakes. But if we do that too much, we're out of balance, so we need to make sure that we live in the moment so that we're able to just live, breathe and be happy, but we have to all of a sudden go in the dark side, I guess, to self-reflect to always become better people.
Yeah.
And that's the balance of that I was trying to iterate earlier is just more of keeping that in sync of self-reflection is good. It's just that you have to find that healthy balance of what controls it, you know.
Do you ever just kind of feel like you hear your thoughts and you're just like shut the fuck up, and
Sometimes I'm like
you're just like you're fucking lying, and you're just like kind of just so present and
what
it's beautiful, and then you have just one intrusive thought, and that one intrusive thought kind of starts to lose its power, and you feel great every single day about it. And
well, truth hurts.
that's no, but I think that's that desire to change. Oh my god, I keep saying change. Why is it such an inherent way to like think of it?
Because I think we're indoctrinated from the system that we're always needing to change and always becoming better. It's not necessarily a personal growth. It's more of
Because
a,
I
I
think
don't know, maybe
I don't think even since the day I was born, I don't ever feel changed by anything. I feel like I've just
lived.
I've just lived, and whether I've maybe just been a plant that has not grown, maybe just a plant that just needed a hell of a lot of water because fuck, I was thirsty for years.
Yeah,
Okay?
well,
Maybe that's
I
what it
think
was. But because of that, that's the reason why I'm a plant that's gonna eventually be this massive fucking tree because shit, over time I was just,
well, I think
waiting
there's
to
two different
grow.
I think there's two different pieces here. And I think that yes, we do as humans need to grow and yes, as humans we need to change in certain circumstances. Meaning as in if you hate your job, you have to change the job. But at the same time, you're learning
Oh,
to
I see
grow
what you're
but at the
saying.
same time
Yeah.
you're learning to grow as in you as an individual putting yourself into situations that betters your life.
So you're kind of saying you're associating the word with the appropriate, like, actual, like,
Correct.
meaning. Essentially, you're
It's
basically
it's
saying,
like looking back
yeah.
at Like there's maybe like past decisions we made with exes, friends, directions, moving, things like that. Is
Yeah.
the growth from those bad decisions is that you've learned from them. You know, I need to be more empathetic because of this. This is what I did in the past, or I need to do this. Those are growth opportunities. I think the actual change from it is that you don't allow it to happen,
So
or
the change is the product of the growth.
correct.
Oh, so like, and I think that's kind of why ultimately the word change can still apply in a way. It's you want to see a change in maybe someone's behavior that's not necessarily them. It's not a reflection of them. It just may be a behavior that it can be, um, that that was
Yeah, change
caused
can be
by.
taken very negative. Also, it's like you look at someone and
Okay,
say,
so maybe I just kind of
"Don't
don't
do
feel as
that."
bad about using the word change now, because at least ultimately it's kind of meant in the same
From the
reference.
bad
Yeah,
decisions, from the bad
it's in the
decisions.
same topic
But
of
listen, here we
conversation.
go.
Yeah.
From the bad decisions, we have the growth that leads us to the good decisions that leads us to the change.
Yeah. Well, that's again also tied in with the free. I mean, the willpower to make change, and that if you had truly had a desire to it, you would start to plant those seeds of desire to change, and then when you actually start to see that change through discipline and understanding that, you know,
And that
wanting
seed can be planted all the way through the
wanting to
cycle.
yeah wanting to grow or wanting to do something differently. I want to say it this way, if you don't want to keep making the same mistake over and over again, if you want to see a difference, something different, you're tired of making the same choices over and over again, you then have to start asking yourself, like, is that,
You have to accept the growth
yeah, is that something that's now,
because you're going to continue to make the bad decisions
yeah,
until you accept the growth that leads you to the good decision, which is accepting the growth that leads
yeah,
you to the change that betters your life.
and hopefully, you
And that's
know,
hard for some people, but I think, and people just need encouragement. We need to find our close friends, find our close family, encourage them to be better people, and listen and be empathetic towards those things.
but I think I'm at the point now in life where I want it to be my own kind of peaceful place or a safe space for myself, that I'm allowing myself to protect my, um I guess,
Inner circle, or your being.
vulnerability to anybody. Like, I feel like we often hear it's really powerful to be vulnerable to just everybody and anybody. You want to break the vicious cycle, and that's how I tie it in. But I think what I want to start doing is kind of taking some time to myself, because I think it's hard to continue growing if you're not necessarily growing for yourself, you're growing for others. If that makes sense. I think you sometimes have to live so authentically for what you want for yourself out of life, that will power has to help, change your reality to something that you desire, that's actually going to be a sustainable way of
Yeah,
happiness for
so
you
to find
in
that
this short life.
so to find that
Yeah.
happiness, you need the good decisions, and to get to the good decisions, you need to accept the growth, which is accepting it, which is stopping you from making the bad
And the
decisions.
what ifs were the
And
demons of your reality, because it's honestly making you not live. You're not living in the
and
present
yes, that
moment.
process from accepting that growth, which is of making you avoid any of those bad decisions, whether it's drinking, whatever, is hurtful
We have these
in
like
that
little eureka
process.
moments sometimes when we talk, and it's really funny because it's just a constant everyday reminder. And I think
It's like the little light bulb just came on in their little minds,
it
like
reminds me of the movie
ding.
50 First Dates, where it's like you almost you know something so much in the moment, and then you wake up the very next day and it's like you have short term memory of everything you just kind of had
Yeah,
awakening moments of, because trauma sometimes tries to come over like a little cloud and you know rain on your day, and it's honestly, you just got to be like, that cloud's not actually there. It's a lie. It's just a muscle memory feeling
yeah.
of your own manifestations of your trauma, your repeated trauma.
Well, it's kind of like if you look at your repeated trauma, and you just have to take the traumas of your day. You can continue to have a rainy day and be
Just
sad about it.
rinse and repeat. Because you know what? At the end of the day, like, it's okay to sometimes deep dive there, but you just gotta like take, when you deep dive there, just you understand that it's not real anymore. That you're in a current state, but you're now going into the past just to simply, I think, take something from it again that's going to help you grow. Because to then say I'm going to just move forward and never look back, I think is the same ultimate lie to yourself. It's the one that's going to basically tell you, I'm going to, try to repress it as long as I can until one
No, I
day
think you need to address those things of
one
all of
day
our traumas in our lives.
it's gonna make you look back on your life with the ultimate regret until maybe that's that being your final moment, because you're just like, wow, I really didn't put in the work. And I'm saying that maybe as a thing to myself. And sometimes when you love people, you want that same kind of hope for them, maybe have their own journey to it. And I think that's the piece I found in myself for letting situations in the past go. But it's like, you just hope that at some point in life, because if you unconditionally love someone, that they're going to get to that point no
Yeah.
matter what. You're just like, please, like, I hope that willpower in there is activated, and that they really do find that change, growth, whatever, new reality for themselves that they actually needed all along to be happy.
Yeah. So I think it goes back as you can't keep things bottled up. We have to self-reflect, learn from that bad decisions and those growths, and we become better people.
Yeah, so we gotta become better people.
Better people.
Because being better is better than not being better.
Better's being better.
It's better than being better.
This joint.
I was about to say butter, but I guess this joint too.
This joint.
All right,
And
on that note.
and on this joint.
And on this joint.
And on this joint.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
On the next
and
one.
see you soon.
Bye.